Good morning, welcome to a new video with me, Richard Clements. So today, doing another 200-kilometre ride, and basically go down through the lanes, down to the Severn Bridge, cross Severn Bridge, around the Magor levels, and then hitting the hills up to Usk, and then climbing over the ridge from Usk down into the Wye Valley, and then up the other side from Brockweir, and then dropping down into Chepstow, back across the Severn Bridge, and then back up the lanes back home. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. Some of that is a little bit off-road, so I've actually brought the gravel bike today, and I've actually put the winter tyres on, so they are slightly knobbly. Yes, you can see you've got like a centre ridge. So yeah, it's not as quick as riding the road bike, obviously. So, but it gives it a lovely plush ride, and I've got lots of low gear, so that will be good. Anyway, let's get on with it. Place called Shepherdine, and I have a vague memory of there being a wooden lighthouse here, but it's no longer here now. Very similar to the one at Burnham-on-Sea. So this is the River Severn, and we're about, I don't know, 4 miles upstream from the first, the original Severn Bridge. In fact, from here you can actually see both. So you can see the old bridge, the foreground, and the second Severn crossing in the background. So I'm going to carry on down the lanes and then come across the Severn Bridge, and then the Magor levels is literally directly in front. And I'm going to do a loop around, and then come back up over the hills, and then up over this ridge here, and then back down into Chepstow, which you can't quite see here. It's hidden by a bit of a mound over there. Just now about Alderbury Power Station. Well, that's it there. Now you can see it through the hedge. Can't say I know much about it, but yeah, that's Alderbury Power Station. I think it's a nuclear power station. So I've just stopped nearly in the middle, and just thought I'd point the camera upstream you can see the little bit of land just beyond Oldbury Power Station where I spoke to you. That's Shepherdine. A bit further on you can just make out the buildings in Sharpness Docks. So I should be passing through there later on in the last sort of 20k of my ride. The most disconcerting thing here was when you stop here, you can kind of feel the bridge shaking, you know, with the traffic going over it. There isn't quite as much traffic now as there used to be. Here, the River Wye. So we've just come across the Severn Bridge, as you would have saw, and so this is basically the River Wye just before it flows underneath the bridge and joins the Severn in the Severn estuary and then into the Bristol Channel. So this is basically the end of the River Wye, and I don't know if you can see over there the second Severn crossing. But the story I said last week about the Biblins Bridge being washed away, the sign had actually come under here out into the estuary and then down the Bristol Channel. It was actually last year. I got the wrong year. I said it was several years ago, but it was actually the beginning February of 2020. So I think COVID is really messed up the timeline in my head. You know, I thought it was longer ago than what it actually is. So anyway, yes, I've just passed through Chepstow. The roundabout there, just up the road from the motorway, the M48 was mega busy. They were all queuing up to go in down the steep hill down into Chepstow itself. So either everybody's doing their shopping today in Chepstow, or they've got some sort of Christmas market thing on. But yeah, as I came down the road towards sort of Caerwent and that, the tail back of the traffic was a good mile and a half, and then I'm quite glad I've got into these tiny little lanes now, which the M48 is just probably 300 yards just in front of me. I can just see the cars going by. As you can see, there's a little post in front of me. That's Route 4 of the National Cycle Network. So yes, it's one of the lesser tarmacked routes, but it's actually quite nice. It drops down and then you rejoin the road a bit further on, and it just misses out the really busy bit. And then there's a bit of a drag out and then a drop down into onto the levels, and yeah, we're then good for a little while. Anyway, I shall catch you in a little while. Rejoin the main road in a second. You can just hear it to my left, sort of through the trees, and a little bit higher than what I am. So much better travelling along here than that. Sadly, I've got to do a little bit of it. There's no option. about to drop down into Caldicott, and just thought I'd show you this little view I just spotted through the gap in the hedge, and it's across the Bristol Channel. I don't know if you can see it on this lens, and I know I say that every video, but it's more wide angle, if you know what I mean. But anyway, you can see Avonmouth across there, the eyesore that is Avonmouth. Across the estuary. Anyway, I'm going to drop down into Caldicott along this little bridleway, and I'll speak to you in a bit. So, as you see, I'm on the levels now. It's just pan flat. It's not that big an area, but yeah, it's quite nice to come to, especially at this time of year. And I think there's a bit of a bird sanctuary here somewhere as well. And I'm going to try and pronounce what I think these levels are called, and that's the Went Lwg levels. Now, my Welsh speaking viewers are going to absolutely kill themselves laughing at that murder of that pronunciation, and I do apologise. Wow, I thought I could hear something. Anyway, as I was about to say, as you can see, the road has ended, and it's got a bit boggy. It's slow going, but been all right so far. Glad I got the winter tyres on now. Anyway, basically there's some houses over there, and that's where I rejoin the road, and then I go off down to the sort of seawall thing down there, so I'll catch up with you then. Oh dear, this is proper boggy, this bit. It's not looking much better further ahead either. I think my route brings me back along here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go round on the road. So that's the state of the bike, and then the state of my feet. So yeah, I'm going to have to go and wipe my feet. Proper sticky mud, this, like clay. That didn't really help. Anyway, I'll have another go at it in a bit. Old cliff, and this is the Bristol Channel. As you can see Portishead over there, and Portree Docks, and then going on through, you've got the Bridgewater Bay, Clevedon, and then you've got the North Devon coast over there. It's actually very clear today, very clear indeed. I've left my bike down there because it's a footpath, and it gives me the opportunity to wipe my shoes, as it were. What a stunning place. I really don't come down here enough. So with Portishead over there directly across, I quite often ride along the top. I mean, you can see stuff glinting on the road up there, and you know, I'm looking in this direction. So it's quite nice to come here and have a look at it from the other direction, really. And then you've got the industrial places of Newport over there, with the stunning hills up behind. Very nice place. Gold Cliff. Bit of a gem actually, because it's quite close to Bristol. So yeah, the cafe was open, but I didn't go in. So I didn't have any cash on me, and I get the impression this is kind of a cash only type place, if you know what I mean. So find a petrol station in a bit and get something to eat. So done 49 miles, so it's just under 80k, about 122k to go. I don't think there's any more boggy tracks. Famous last words. Ooh, these look pretty good. Join me in Usk. So come up over Wentwood, got that to work. Had a bit of shenanigans at the bottom of Wentwood. I can't remember what the name of the village at the bottom. But yeah, it was basically a lady nearly reversed into two horses, ridden by two girls, teenage girls, and she would have done if I hadn't flagged her out, you know, went out to her. And so she starts off by going, "No, you don't have a go at me," because she was thinking I'm just having a go about the traffic jam a bit further up. And I said, "No, you've merely reversed into these two horses. I've got a mirror." Yes, but you're clearly not using it. She was still unaware of what that was all about. So it's a bit worrying when people that's so situationally unaware that they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, this lady went off, drove off in a huff. The two girls on the horses went, "Oh, thanks ever so much for that." So, well, you know, I hadn't flagged them out, you know, they'd have reversed into your horse. Anyway, yeah. Something just to pass the time of day. Second aviation base thing that's happened today. Just gone past Usk Gliding Club, and the tow plane just landed. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera, and it came over the road really low, as you would expect. It was coming in to land in the field next to the road, but yeah. So just on the foothills of the next line. This is a bit of a sod, this one. It takes us over the ridge to the Wye Valley. So I come up here over the top, drop down to the Wye Valley, rock weir, and then up onto the top from there. That would be the last big climb of the day. Oh, and look at this. Trees in the way, of course. That actually sounded like it had an engine on it. You know, one of those ones you can just turn off and then it just turns into a glider. That's cool. And the second of the 3 climbs of the day. It goes up in a couple of stages. Well, probably 3 stages actually. So I've been up the first bit, and this I'm just joining the main road. And yeah, so I'm just there's another bit I'm just going to go up in a second, and the last bit is a real sod, and I can actually see it from here, and it takes me up onto that ridge you can just see. And once I get up there, there's a road, I can't remember it comes up from Monmouth and goes along the ridge and then drops down eventually into Chepstow, but I'm not going to go along the ridge and down into Chepstow. I'm going down into the, as I said earlier, down into the Wye Valley and then up the other side and then down into Chepstow. Hopefully all the traffic from earlier. Wow, look at this view. It's a shame that this sign's right in the way, but so I'm most of the way up this climb now. You can kind of see the road going off. You can even see the clump of trees that I stopped and had my can at. And beyond that you've got, I think this is the, we're looking at the tumble there in the distance. But yeah, wow, this is incredible. It's quite funny because I stopped here to take this, you know, to talk to this video, and a car pulled up. Guy gets out, gets his phone out, and I goes, oh, you've got the same idea as I have, and he went, what an incredible view. And it really is. I mean, you can see for miles, and I'm just so envious of the people that live in these houses. What an incredible place to live. I really do have house envy. I certainly do. Right, let's do this last 100 yards. View. It's incredible. Got Brecon Beacons over there. You can see the Sugarloaf. See the tumble. What an incredible place. I can't say. Oh, I'm in a place called Broadstone. I was just thinking as I was coming along the lane before I came into the village. I love it when you've got a general gist of knowing where you are, but you don't know exactly. It generally means new miles, and I love new miles, love exploring, and I've had plenty of new miles today. Plenty of miles that I know as well. But yeah, since I left that hill coming up out of the Usk Diving Club, there's been a lot of new miles, and this is just fantastic. It's just a shame it's a bit late in the day now, because as you can see, you know, the light's fading, and yeah. So you join me in Brockwere. I've just come across the Wye. I was actually planning to stop on the bridge and you know, show you the Wye, but the bridge has been repaired. So the scaffolding either side, as you would have seen actually, because I did catch a video clip as I went across the bridge. But yeah, so the bridge has been repaired and it's under traffic light control. So I've just come into partly up the village, into the village, and then look, do you know what? I just do a video here, but so I'm now at the top of the hill. I'm just about to drop down into Chepstow, and just wanted to show you the view from here really. I mean, you can see down into Thornbury, if it focuses. And yeah, that's the Severn estuary down there, and the orange glow you can see there, that is the Bristol, general Bristol area, Avonmouth and that kind of thing. Yes, so I'm just about to drop down, and I'll speak to you again in a bit, probably down by the Severn Bridge. So you join me in Chepstow, and I'm stood on Chepstow Bridge, right in the centre of the River Wye. To my right, your left, as you're looking at it, is Monmouthshire, is Wales, and to my left, your right, is Gloucestershire and England. Traffic lights have just changed. We're all thinking, what's that weirdo doing with his phone? But anyway, yeah, so this is, I'm now going to walk into Wales, and just to show you, that's Chepstow Castle over there. I don't think my phone camera is going to focus too well on it. Seems to struggle in the dark. But yeah, so that line in the centre is the boundary. I don't want to call it a border. It's a boundary. Anyway. Well, you join me in Barclay, 12 miles to go, and I realised I hadn't eaten anything since dusk, so I stopped in the shop here and got a sandwich and a drink and what have you, to do that final. You know how bad it is when you've got 12 miles to go and you've got to stop. Coming back through the lanes between Thornbury and here, came across a farm that did vending machine milk. Well, that was nearly embarrassing. Just as I left that bench where I spoke to you before, had the sandwich and what have you, wheeled the bike off the pavement, off the curb, realised that my front wheel was loose. And how long it's been like that for, I have no idea, but front brake must have been rubbing. Explains a bit off. So when I left you at Sharpness, I went past the Sharpness Lifeboat Centre station, through the marina there with all the sort of narrow boats and what have you, and surprised a couple of guys are having a chat by one of the boats. Now, I'm pretty sure you don't see a bike going on there at 9:30 normally. Anyway, the best bit was there's a bridge, or rather there was a bridge along there that was knocked down by a barge in the 60s, I think it was, and the supports are still there, but the bit over the top, which was a railway, I think, has long gone. And at the bottom of the support was this guy sat there smoking a cigarette, drinking a cup of coffee, and he was obviously stealth camping. And the last thing he expected to see was some moron on a coke bike with a really bright light. So as I got round the corner, I kind of startled him, and basically I kind of realised that I'd startled him a bit, and I just said evening as I went by, and he did say evening back, but it was like, what the hell's going on here? Anyway, yeah, I went through Purton. Well, basically I carried along the canal all the way through Slimbridge, all the way to Frampton-on-Severn. So I've just come up from Frampton-on-Severn, and I'm basically back home now, so I'm about 2 minutes away from home. It's been a brilliant day out. I've really enjoyed myself. Yeah, some of the off-road bits were pretty sloppy, as you'd expect, but no, it's been really good. And Friday I've got the Moonrakers and Sunseekers overnight at 300, so yeah, I won't be doing an awful lot between now and then. a couple of days in working, actually going into the office and actually riding there, but that'll be it probably. Anyway, thank you for joining me on yet another one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.